Everyone keeps saying the same thing. Catholic churches in America are emptying out. People are walking away. Parishes are closing. Dioceses are merging communities that used to stand proudly on their own. If you only look at the headlines, you might believe that story completely. But here is what those headlines are not telling you. Right now, across this country, there are Catholic churches so full that people are standing in the back. There are parishes with tens of thousands of registered members. There are churches offering Mass so many times on a single Sunday that they rival the schedule of a small airport. And the people filling those churches are not just showing up out of habit. They are coming back week after week because something real and powerful is happening inside those walls. So the real question is not whether Catholic life in America is alive. It clearly is. The real question is, why are these specific churches so full when others are struggling? What are they doing differently? What do they have that other parishes do not? That is exactly what we are going to answer today. We are taking you through the 10 Catholic churches in the United States with the most remarkable attendance numbers in the country. Each one has its own story, its own personality, and its own reason for being so full. And we promise you, by the time you reach the last church on this list, you will see the Catholic Church in America in a completely different way. Number 1. St. Matthew Catholic Church, Charlotte, North Carolina. When people talk about the largest Catholic parish in America, one name comes up every single time. St. Matthew Catholic Church in Charlotte, North Carolina. And the numbers here are not just impressive. They are almost hard to believe for a single parish. This church has over 11,000 registered families. Total membership sits at more than 30,000 people. To put that in perspective, that is larger than the entire population of many small towns across the country, and yet this is not a small town. It is one parish in one city, built around one faith community that has grown to a scale almost never seen before in American Catholic life. What makes St. Matthew work at this size is the way it is organized inside. The parish runs more than 100 active ministries, not 10, not 20, more than 100. There is a Rosary Makers Guild that quietly supports the prayer life of the community. There is a prison ministry that takes the church's presence far beyond its own walls. There is a Welcome Home ministry specifically designed to reach out to Catholics who have drifted away and bring them back. Every one of these ministries serves a specific purpose, and together they create a community so connected and so engaged that leaving it would feel like leaving a second family. Number 2. St. Ann Catholic Church, Salina. Texas is growing faster than almost anywhere else in America, and the Catholic Church there is growing right along with it. St. Ann Catholic Church in Salina sits in the middle of one of the most rapidly expanding areas in the entire state, and it has built something that matches the energy of the community around it. Between 8,000 and 10,000 people attend this parish every single week. That is not a special occasion number. That is a regular Sunday. And the reason those numbers stay so high is because St. Ann has built its entire identity around something that most other parishes treat as secondary families. The parish is dedicated to St. Ann, Mother of the Virgin Mary, and the grandmother of Jesus himself. That choice of patron is not just symbolic. It sets the tone for everything the church does. Faith here is meant to be passed from one generation to the next, lived at home, and carried into the world by children who grew up watching their parents practice it. Dedicated nursery services and ministries built specifically for new mothers make sure that families with young children do not just feel tolerated. They feel genuinely welcomed and supported. Number 3. St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Catholic Church. Texas Houston is one of the most diverse cities in the entire United States, and St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Catholic Church reflects that diversity in a way that is both deliberate and deeply effective. Between 6,000 and 8,000 people attend this parish each week. It's drawn together from different cultural backgrounds into one shared Catholic identity. The single most important thing this parish does is offer Mass in 3 languages: English, Spanish, and Vietnamese. That might sound like a small detail, but it is actually everything. When someone can hear the words of the Mass, the prayers, and the homily in their own language, Faith stops being something foreign and becomes something personal. It stops feeling like an institution and starts feeling like a home. That shift is what drives attendance and keeps it strong. Named after the first American-born saint, the parish carries a deep sense of local roots while remaining wide open to the full range of people who make up modern Houston. One of its most powerful offerings is family adoration, a dedicated time of Eucharistic adoration built specifically for parents and children to participate in together. The rosary is woven into it. The devotions are made approachable for younger members. What could easily be a quiet and adult-centered practice becomes a shared spiritual moment that strengthens both faith and family in the same breath. Number 4. St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church, Frisco, Texas. SIF. You wanted to design a parish around the idea that nobody should ever have a reason not to come to Mass. St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church in Frisco, Texas might be the closest thing to that vision that currently exists in America. On a single Sunday, this parish offers 11 different Mass options. 11. There are English Masses and Spanish Masses. There are youth-led celebrations designed to speak directly to younger members of the community. And there are sensory-friendly Masses created specifically for individuals with special needs and their families, who might otherwise find a standard Mass difficult to attend comfortably. The total parish population exceeds 30,000 people, with between 6,000 and 7,000 attending in a typical week. The thinking behind all of this is straightforward. One of the most common reasons people stop attending Mass is simple inconvenience. The time does not work. The format does not suit their family. The experience feels inaccessible. St. Francis has looked at every one of those barriers and removed them, one by one. The result is a parish where Masses are regularly filled to standing room only, where regular confession is always available, and where Eucharistic adoration gives people a reason to come back, even on days when there is no scheduled Mass. Number 5. St. Michael the Archangel Catholic Church, Houston, Texas. There is a difference between a parish that people visit and a parish that people belong to. St. Michael the Archangel Catholic Church in Houston belongs firmly in the second category. And that difference is exactly why around 6,000 people show up there every single week. The parish offers daily Mass alongside 5 Sunday options, which means that attending church is not something that requires planning your entire week around a single window of time. It is simply part of the rhythm of everyday life. That consistency matters more than most people realize. When the doors of a church are open every single day, it changes the relationship people have with it. It stops being an obligation and starts being a habit, and eventually it becomes something much deeper than that. Every year, the feast day of St. Michael on the 29th of September draws an especially large gathering, reinforcing a shared identity and a sense of celebration that brings the community together in a way that Sunday Mass alone cannot always achieve. Number 6. Christ the King Catholic Church, Tampa, Florida. Some parishes are built on grand foundations. Christ the King Catholic Church in Tampa, Florida, was built on something far more humble and in many ways far more interesting. When it was first established in 1941, the community gathered inside a converted army barracks is where the church began. And that origin story says something important about the spirit of the place. A community that starts in a barracks is a community that is not waiting for perfect conditions. It is a community that makes something out of whatever it has. That same spirit of resilience and adaptability has carried forward into the present, where around 6,000 people attend this parish each week and find something that goes much deeper than a typical Sunday experience. The parish runs approximately 80 active ministries. Youth and young adult programs create a clear pathway for the next generation. Bible studies give adults a space to wrestle with the faith seriously. Dedicated men's groups and women's groups provide connection and accountability that people often struggle to find anywhere else in modern life. Daily Mass and for Sunday options keep the liturgical life flexible and accessible throughout the week. Number 7. St. Patrick's Cathedral, New York City. New York, there is no Catholic church in America more recognized by name and sight than St. Patrick's Cathedral in the middle of Midtown Manhattan. It occupies an entire city block, Spires rise above one of the most famous streets in the world. And whether you are a lifelong Catholic, a curious tourist, or someone who has never set foot inside a church in your life, there is a good chance you already know what it looks like. But St. Patrick's is not just a landmark. It is a working, breathing parish that draws between 5,000 and 6,000 worshippers every single week. As the seat of Archbishop Timothy Dolan, it serves as a central point of Catholic leadership for one of the most important cities in the entire world, and that role brings a steady and serious stream of both local faithful and visiting pilgrims through its doors. More than 5 million people pass through St. Patrick's doors every single year. Many of them come as tourists who simply want to see the building. But a great many of them encounter something they were not expecting: a living, active place of worship where the faith is practiced daily, not displayed for show. Number 8. Holy Family Catholic Church, Orlando. Florida. Orlando is a city in constant motion. People move there, move through it, and move on. It is a place of shifting populations and constantly changing communities. And yet Holy Family Catholic Church has managed to build something in the middle of all that movement that feels genuinely stable, warm, and deeply rooted. Between 5,000 and 6,000 people attend this parish each week, and the reason they keep coming back is not complicated. They feel like they belong. That sense of belonging is not accidental. It is built into the structure of the parish at every level. The community is filled with families, parents with young children, grandparents, multi-generational households who have made this church their anchor in a city that can sometimes feel like it has no anchor at all. The experience of walking in and being genuinely seen and welcomed is something that parishioners describe again and again when they talk about why they choose this church. Daily Mass and 5 Sunday options give the community flexible access to the Eucharist throughout the week. An adoration chapel is available for quiet, personal prayer at almost any moment. And right on the parish grounds sits a Catholic school, which means that for many families, faith and education happen in the same place. It's taught by the same community and reinforced every single day rather than just on Sundays. Number 9. St. Thomas More Catholic Church, Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas has become one of the fastest-growing cities in America over the last decade. Young people, young professionals, and young families are pouring into the city from all over the country. And St. Thomas More Catholic Church has become a spiritual home for a great many of them. Between 5,000 and 6,000 people attend each week, and if you walk through those doors on a Sunday morning, you will immediately understand why. The church is full of children, not tucked away in a separate room. It's not kept quiet and out of sight. Present, visible. Part of the Mass, you will hear them during the homily. You will hear them during the quiet moments. You will hear them in ways that make it genuinely difficult to catch every word being spoken from the front. And that, believe it or not, is one of the best things about this parish, because the sound of children in a church is not a problem to be managed. It is a sign of life. It is proof that young families feel comfortable enough to bring their most important people into the most important hour of their week. It means those children are growing up with the Mass as a natural and familiar part of their lives. And those children will one day be the adults filling the pews, and their children will follow after them. For Sunday Masses and a daily Mass, keep the rhythm of worship steady and accessible. But what truly defines St. Thomas More is not its schedule or its programs. It is the feeling that the future of the Catholic Church is quite literally sitting in the pews right now, growing up and getting ready. Number 10. Our Lady of Guadalupe Catholic Church, Des Plaines, Illinois. We saved this one for last, and here's why. Every church on this list has impressive weekly attendance numbers. But Our Lady of Guadalupe Catholic Church in Des Plaines, Illinois does something once a year that makes every other number on this list look modest by comparison. On the feast day of Our Lady of Guadalupe, 400,000 people gather at this church in the national shrine it is part of. 400,000 in one day. At one location, that is not a typo, and it is not an exaggeration. It is one of the largest single-day Catholic gatherings anywhere in the United States. And it happens every year, driven by a devotion so deep and so personal that no distance is too far and no weather is too cold to keep people away. On a regular week, around 5,000 people attend this parish. It offers daily Mass and 5 Sunday Masses, 4 of which are celebrated entirely in Spanish. That detail matters greatly. The Hispanic Catholic community in the greater Chicago area is enormous, deeply faithful, and deeply devoted to Our Lady of Guadalupe in particular. By offering the great majority of its Masses in Spanish, the parish is not making a small accommodation. It is making a full and genuine commitment to the community it serves. The parish is located about an hour outside of downtown Chicago and forms part of the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe, which means it functions on 2 levels at once. It is a local parish for the families who call it home every week. And it is a national pilgrimage site for the hundreds of thousands of faithful who come from across the region and the country to pray before the image of the woman who appeared to Juan Diego on a hillside in Mexico centuries ago and changed the course of Catholic life in the Americas forever. 10 churches, 10 communities, 10 completely different stories, and yet they all point to the same truth. The Catholic Church in America is not one single story. It is thousands of stories happening at the same time in the same country under the same faith. Some of those stories are about struggle. Some are about slow decline. But some of them, like the 10 we just walked through together, are about something else entirely. They are about growth, about belonging, about communities that have figured out how to make faith feel real and necessary and alive. In the middle of ordinary life, if this video showed you something you were not expecting, do one simple thing right now. Hit subscribe. There are more stories like these waiting for you. Stories about faith communities doing remarkable things in places you would never expect. Stories that the mainstream conversation about religion in America almost never tells. Share this video with someone who thinks Catholic churches are all empty. Let them see what is actually happening. Drop a comment below telling us which church on this list surprised you the most. Was it the 30,000 members in Charlotte? The 11 Mass options in Frisco? Or those 400,000 people gathering in day planes on a single feast day? Tell us what stopped you in your tracks. Thank you for watching all the way. To the end, it means a great deal. We will see you in the next one.